Hello students, welcome to Accounting Explained at Accountwise Academy. This is Latha Venkateshwaran. Now we are going to take an important exam question from chapter 6. Here you will learn how to spot and fix accounting errors and handle and balance a suspense account step by step. So get your notebook and be ready because these steps will help you score full marks. Come on students, let's get started. The question is as follows. Trial balance of Karan and company did not agree. It showed an excess credit of rupees 10,000. Karan and company put the difference to a suspense account. They located the following errors. Sales return book was overcast by rupees 1000. Purchases book was undercast by rupees 600. In the sales book, the total of page number 4 was carried forward to page 5 as rupees 1000 instead of 1200, and the total of page 8 was carried forward to page 9 as 5600 instead of 5000. Goods returned to Mehul rupees 1000 were recorded through the sales book. Credit purchases from Arya and Sons rupees 8000 were recorded through the sales book. Credit purchases from Sinha Traders rupees 5000 were recorded through the sales book. However, Sinha Traders were correctly credited. Salary paid rupees 2000 was debited to an employee's personal account. So these are all the transactions which had mistake while doing the trial balance or while doing the books of accounts. Now what you are going to do is we are going to take each transaction separately and do the rectification, and then we will prepare the suspense account simultaneously with the rectification, and we will see whether the suspense account balances or not. Okay, come on, let's get started. Students, the first part of the question says trial balance of Karan and company did not agree. It showed an excess credit of rupees 10,000. Karan and company put the difference to a suspense account. Okay, so let us assume this as the trial balance of Karan and company. It will have debit column and the credit column. Suppose if the debit column has a total of 90,000 and credit column has a total of 1 lakh. Debit is lesser than credit by rupees 10,000. Right? So credit side is more by rupees 10,000. In other words, if the credit side of the trial balance is greater than the debit side, this means you have an excess of credit balance. To temporarily balance the trial balance, you would create a suspense account and record the difference as a debit in the account. So you will create a suspense account and the difference will be put as a debit balance, 10,000 rupees. Now, if you see, your debit side will have a total of 1 lakh. Now, debit and the credit gets tallied. Okay. Once again, I'm telling you, if there is excess credit, take the difference to the debit side and write it as suspense account and vice versa. Now, you open the suspense account ledger account. This will look like any other ledger account with the columns of date, particulars, debit, date, particulars, credit. On the left side, DR, on the right side, CR. This is the format of a ledger account. Now, opening balance of suspense account is rupees 10,000 on the debit side. See the trial balance, right? So that should be taken in the suspense account ledger on the debit side opening to trial balance difference 10,000 rupees. Okay. The first transaction is sales return book was overcast by rupees 1000. If you have seen my previous videos, I would have followed my format, which has the correct entry, wrong entry, and then the rectification entry. I'll compare the correct entry and the wrong entry, and then I'll go for the rectification entry. This will be the easiest method to do because you will not make any mistakes. If you have any doubt, please go through my previous videos. You will have a thorough knowledge of how to do this rectification entry. Okay, I'll be sharing the link in the description box. First, see the transaction. Sales return book was overcast by rupees 1000. It means sales return account is returned more by 1000. First, let us see what is the correct entry. Correct entry is sales account debit 1000. Usually, when sales is made, it's an income, right? So it will be credited. All income should be credited. Sales account will be credited. Sales return is opposite of sale, so it will be debited. Okay, that is why sales or return account is debited. Now, who is returning the goods? Debtor. So credit the giver to debtor account 1000 rupees. Okay. But what they have written? They have written as 1000 rupees more. That is overcast by 1000. So sales return account debit 2000 to debtor account 1000. That they have taken correctly, debtor account. So if you see debtor account is correct. So no rectification entry is needed for that. Do not touch debtor account because you have credited debtor account correctly by 1000. Only sales return account has to be touched. Here, sales return account correct entry has 1000 rupees debit. Wrong entry has 2000 rupees debit. So it has an excess debit of 1000 rupees when you compare the correct entry and the wrong entry. So to cancel the excess debit of sales return, what you have to do? You have to credit it. So in the rectification entry, credit the sales return to sales return 1000. Okay, next. Here, if you see the wrong entry, debit and the credit does not tally. Okay, I will rub it. Debit and the credit does not tally. How? Debit has a total of 2000 and credit has a total of 1000. Right? If the debit and the credit total does not tally in a journal entry, then you have to open a suspense account. Okay. So suspense account should be opened on the debit side. Already we have filled the credit 1000. It should be opened on the debit side. Suspense account debit 1000. This will be your rectification entry. Okay, got it. See, all these tips and tricks I have discussed in detail in my previous video. Again and again, I'm telling you because rectification of error is very easy chapter. You can score full marks in it. So, first see my previous videos and then come to this video. You will be able to solve it very easily. Okay. Next, we have to post it to the ledger account, right? Suspense account. Here, in the journal, you have credited the sales return account. So, in the ledger of suspense account, it has to be debited. So, first transaction, to sales account, return account, 1000 rupees. Second transaction, purchase book was undercast by rupees 600. Okay. The correct entry is purchase is an expense, so it has to be debited. Purchase account debit 600 to creditor account 600. Okay, it is undercast means they have not taken it. So we have returned in the wrong entry as purchase account debit 0 to creditor account. Correctly, we have taken 600 rupees. So now if you see creditor account, we have taken correctly on the credit side rupees 600. So this need not be to be touched. See the rectification entry. The purchase account has to be debited because in the wrong entry nothing is there. It has to be debited. Debit purchase account 600. Now see the wrong entry. Debit and the credit does not tally amount, right? So suspense account has to be opened to suspense account 600. In the suspense account, here in the rectification entry you have debited the purchases. So in the ledger of suspense account you have to credit the purchases. Second transaction by purchases account 600. There are two parts in the third transaction. I will take the first part. In sales book, total of page 4 carried forward to page 5 as 1000 instead of 1200. So instead of 1200, they have taken wrongly as 1000. So sales has to be increased by 200. Here, there are no two entries involved, two accounts rather involved. Only the page total has been taken wrongly. Okay, since from this page to the next page they have taken wrongly, suspense account has to be opened. Because of this, trial balance is not going to tally. Okay, next, we will not use the format of correct entry, wrong entry, and rectification entry. As I have told you, there are no two accounts involved. Only page total. Only that account is involved. So we will write the rectification entry directly. Sales is an income. It is understated, so it will be credited as usual to sales account 200. And now the trial balance is not going to tally because of taking the wrong amount to the next page, 1000 instead of 1200. So suspense account has to be opened. Suspense account debit to sales account is the rectification entry. In the journal, we have credited the sales account by 200 rupees. So in the ledger of suspense account, we will debit 3A to sales account 200 rupees. 3B, in sales book, total of page 8 carried forward to page 9 as 5600 instead of 5000. Instead of 5000, we have taken the total as 5600. Now it is overstated by rupees 600. Overstated means sales is more by 600. Sales is usually credited, right? If it is more by 600, what will you do? Opposite of credit, it will be debited. So sales account debit 600. Now, as I have already told you, page 8 to page 9, they have taken wrongly. So trial balance is not going to tally because from this page when to the next page, if you're going to take it wrongly, already other accounts would have got affected, right? So trial balance is not going to tally. If the trial balance does not tally, what we have to use? We have to use a suspense account. To suspense account 600. Okay. Now in the ledger of suspense account, we'll see what will happen. Here in the journal, we have debited the sales account. So in the suspense account, sales account will be credited by sales 3B 600. Next transaction, goods returned to Mehul 1000 were recorded through the sales book. Goods return means purchase return to Mehul is treated as sales. Okay. Here you see there are two accounts involved, purchase return and sales. But in the last two previous transactions, there was only one account, sales or purchases, because the total was taken wrongly from one page to the next page. So we pass the rectification and entry directly and it did not use the format. Now, since two accounts are involved, we are going to use the format of correct entry, wrong entry and the rectification entry. So first let us see the correct entry. Goods returned to Mehul rupees 1000. When you purchase goods, it will be debited because debit all expenses. Purchase return is opposite of purchase, so you will credit it to purchase return 1000 rupees. To whom you are returning? To Mehul. So debit the receiver to Mehul account debit 1000 to purchase return account 1000 is the correct entry. But wrong entry, you have treated the purchase return as sales, as an income. So you have returned Mehul account debit correctly to sales account as income, you have treated to sales account 1000. Okay, now see the Mehul account. Mehul account debit, Mehul account debit 1000. We have taken correctly in the correct entry and the wrong entry on the debit side. So we are going to strike it off because we are not going to touch it. Now if you see the wrong entry, debit amount and the credit amount tallies. They are equal 1000. So we are not going to open suspense account. So that part, two parts we have cleared. Next, purchase return 1000 rupees we did not write, right? So we have to write purchase return to purchase return account 1000. This sales account we have credited wrongly. How will you cancel this credit? By debiting it. Sales account debit 1000 to purchase return account 1000 is the entry. In the suspense account, no entry will be passed because in the journal we have not used suspense account. So there will not be any posting in the suspense account for this transaction. Next transaction. Credit purchases of rupees 8000 from Arya and Sons were recorded through the sales book. This credit purchases, we have recorded it as sales. This is as simple as this. Okay. Now, two accounts are involved. So, we have to use this format. First, let us see the correct entry. So, credit purchases from Arya and Sons rupees 8000. When you make purchases, it is an expense. So, purchase account has to be debited 8000 to Arya and Sons. Credit the giver or he is the creditor to Arya and Sons 8000. This is the correct entry. But you have treated this credit purchases as a sales. What you have written? Arya and Sons account debit. Debit the receiver. He is treated as a debtor and debited rupees 8000 to sales. We have treated purchases as a sales income. So, sales account is debited, credited rupees 8000. Now, if you see the wrong entry, debit amount and the credit amount are equal. So, no need to open suspense account in the rectification entry. First, that is ruled out. Next, see the Arya and Sons. Arya and Sons, here it is in the correct entry. It is credited. In the wrong entry, it is debited. This debit has to be cancelled. Okay, so we will take Arya and Sons and we will open two columns. Debit, credit. Okay, wrong debit of 8000 should be cancelled. How will you cancel? By crediting it. Next, there is a correct credit of 8000. That has to be introduced, write that here. So, in total, Arya and Sons has to be credited by 16,000 in the rectification entry. So, to Arya and Sons, 16,000. Okay, next, we will see purchases. Purchase account, we have not yet posted for that purchases account. So, we have to debit purchases account. Purchases account debit 8000. Right. Next, in the wrong entry, there is one sales account credited. That is wrong. Sales account is wrong. So, how will you cancel this credit of sales account? By debiting it. So, debit sales account. Sales account debit 8000 to Arya and Sons 16,000. This is the rectification entry. Once again, I am telling you the rectification entry is purchases account debit 8000, sales account debit 8000 to Arya and Sons account 16,000. At this point, I want to ask you, if you like my video so far, please give a like to this video and subscribe to my channel so that it will encourage me to make more videos like this in the future. Thank you. Since there is no suspense account in the rectification entry, there will not be any posting in the suspense account. Next transaction is credit purchases from Sinha Traders rupees 5000 was recorded through sales book. Sinha Traders, however, were correctly credited. Okay. Here, there are two accounts involved, credit purchases and sales. So, we can use this format, correct entry, wrong entry and rectification entry. This is an important transaction for which rectification entry will be little bit difficult. So students, please be attentive and listen to it. Okay. Now, first we'll pass the entry for the credit purchases, which is correct. So correct entry will be purchases account debit. Purchase is an expense, so it will be debited. Purchase account debit 5,000. To Sinha Traders is a creditor. To Sinha Traders 5,000 is credited. Okay. Now, instead of taking it as a credit purchases, we have taken this as a sales, as an income. Income will be credited, right? So in the wrong entry, to sales account 5,000. Again, Sinha Traders are correctly credited. Sinha Traders also we have credited to Sinha Traders 5,000. In the debit side of the journal entry, we have not written anything. It is nil. Okay, this is how our wrong entry will look. Next, let us see the rectification entry. Okay, now if you see the wrong entry, debit total and the credit total does not match. So we have to open suspense account. That part is clear. Next, let us see the Sinha Traders account. Sinha Traders account is credited in the correct entry with rupees 5,000. Similarly, in the wrong entry also, Sinha Traders is credited with rupees 5,000. So that is correct, recorded correctly. So we will strike that off. No need to touch it. Next, purchases account is debited in the correct entry, but no such entry is passed in the wrong entry. So we have to debit purchases account. Purchases account debit rupees 5,000. Next, in the wrong entry, sales account is credited, which is wrong. How will you cancel the credit? By debiting it. So sales account has to be cancelled by debiting it. Sales account debit 5,000. Now, what did I tell you? If the wrong entry, debit and the credit total does not tally, we have to open suspense account. So this has to be transferred to suspense account and the amount is rupees 10,000. Okay. Now, in the suspense account, let us see ledger. Here, in the rectification entry, we have debited purchases and sales account rupees 5,000. So in the ledger of the suspense account, by purchases 5,000, by sales 5,000, transaction number 6 will be credited. Okay. Students, now we have come to the last transaction. Salary paid rupees 2,000 was debited to employee's personal account. Here we have paid salary, which is a nominal account. Okay. Rule of nominal account is debit all expenses and losses, but we have taken it to the employee's personal account. That means we have taken to the personal account. Rule of the personal account is debit the receiver. You have to be thorough with the golden rule of accounting. I have posted a short YouTube shorts on the golden rules of accounting. You can go through that short for a better understanding of golden rules of accounting. Without thorough knowledge of golden rules of accounting, you will not be able to pass any journal entry. You will get stuck. Okay. So be thorough with the golden rule of accounting. This is my sincere advice to you. Now, coming to the correct entry. So the correct entry is salary paid rupees 2,000. As I told you, salary is a nominal account, debit all expenses and losses. So salary is an expense, it has to be debited. Salary account debit 2,000. And from where we have paid? From bank. Bank balance is going to be reduced. Bank is an asset. When the asset value is going to be reduced, it has to be credited. So to bank account rupees 2,000. Instead of passing this entry, you have passed the entry as employee account debit. We have taken to the employee's personal account. Okay, suppose the employee is Satish, we have taken to the Satish account. Here we don't know the name of the employee, so we are simply writing as employee's account debit 2,000. So rule of personal account is debit the receiver. Again bank account, because we are paying from bank, we have credited bank account correctly 2,000. Here in the wrong entry, debit amount and the credit amount are equal. So no need to open suspense account. Okay. Now we will analyze the correct entry and the wrong entry. To bank account, 2,000 we have taken correctly. So no need to touch it. Just strike it off. Now, in the correct entry, salary account debit 2,000, we have to take it to the rectification entry, salary account debit 2,000. Here, in the wrong entry, we have wrongly debited employee's account by rupees 2,000. So we have to cancel this. How will we cancel? By crediting it to employee's account 2,000. So this will be your rectification entry. There is no suspense account involved in this rectification entry. So no need to pass or no need to post anything in the suspense account. Okay, now we have completed all the transactions. Let us analyze the suspense account ledger now. If you see the suspense account, on the debit side, if you total, you get a total of 11,200. Similarly, credit side total, you get a total of 11,200. So, we have passed all the entries that affect the trial balance. And if we prepare the trial balance now with the revised balances, like revised balance of two salary, like that. Okay. If we do ledger postings again and if we do the revised trial balance, now our trial balance will tally. Okay, this way we have to solve an exam question when it comes into your exam. Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned so far. We have learned how and when to write correct, wrong, and rectification entries, how and when to use a suspense account, exam tips for error questions. Now, next step is for you to try similar practice problems. If you do more problems, you can do very quickly in the exam and also without any mistake. If you have any doubts, drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more exam tips. If you would like to inquire about the online classes which I take or to get more worksheets, you can contact us at acc.wiseacademy@gmail.com.